Mercenaries 2 is about blowing shit up. End of story. People who like blowing crap up will like this game. Most everything is destructible. Buildings crumble, airstrikes freely rain down, and tactical nukes accent the sunny Venezuelan countryside. Thankfully, the frame rate is solid during this mayhem, and all the destruction stays as long as you keep your system on. Seeing how the open world is rather large, this is pretty impressive. It's quite possible to turn an industrial city into rubble-filled wasteland in a matter of minutes. And you know, that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy. Although the scale is nice, it also leads to some annoying things. While there are tons of different vehicles and weapons and airstrikes in the game to acquire, you do have to actually go and shop for a lot of these from different vendors who are spread out across Venezuela, which means that sometimes you're going to have to trek all the way across the country to get to somebody just to find out they don't sell that one item you were looking for. You can play as 3 different characters in Mercenaries 2, but you're going to want to choose Mateus. I mean, everything sounds funnier when it's said with his maniacal Swedish accent.
You piece of...
Actually, the entire game is pretty funny, except for one thing. You're going to hear the same 5 lines a billion times. In fact, oddly enough, Pandemic didn't write very many lines for the NPCs, but they had different people record the same lines. So while you hear the same 5 lines again and again, you're going to hear them for different voices. The story is your typical revenge because you got shot in the ass plot, so it's nothing particularly great. It does get the action and explosions moving though. Now, the biggest problem with Mercenaries 2 is that the game just doesn't have the kind of polish you would want from something that's been in development for this long. The AI, for example, is dumber than dirt for both the bad guys and for your allies. There's a lot of pop-in when you're flying over the map, and you can get damage from just falling 5 feet sometimes. The weirdest one of all is that if you're driving a tank, you can actually smash through a car and explode it and take no damage, but bump into a fire hydrant and you actually take damage to your tank. I know that there's a lot of strategy out there for people putting fire hydrants in the way of tanks to destroy them, but it doesn't seem like something you would actually want in a video game. Now, although there is no deathmatch mode or anything like that, there is drop in and drop out online co-op for up to 2 people. The game's difficulty doesn't scale when you add a buddy to the mix, but it's just more fun to level a building with your friend. So the big question is, should you buy Mercenaries 2? Well, it depends on how much you love explosions. The game is glitchy, it has polish issues, but, you know, dropping a tactical nuke on a cove of pirates is fun. And at the end of the day, I'm a guy who's all about the fun. For the full written review and even more details on the good and the bad of Mercenaries 2, head on over to IGN.com.